Hi everyone, Lloyd back with you for another story of my life with God's trying to show me what He is trying to do for me in my life, but obviously I did not listen, and you'll find out why as we go on. This story takes place back when I was 18 years old. I had just entered the military. I went through basic training for 6 weeks and then went to my permanent station, which was never left Lackland Air Force Base. I stayed there. I was what they call a orthopedic appliance specialist. I made body braces, back braces, leg braces, lifts for shoes and stuff. But I had come to the point where I was suffering from major depression, and I knew that it was not going to be for me, but I still was trying to push forward and make a life for myself in the military. There was a gentleman who worked in the same place as I did. He was a recovering alcoholic, and he saw that I was not having a good time. I was hurting, and one day came to me during lunch and said, I am a recovering alcoholic. I go to church on Thursday nights, and I'm curious if you want to go. So I thought about it for a day or so, and then I went back to work and told him that I had nothing better to do in my evenings. I was just going out and playing pool and drinking, and so I told him to pick me up, and we'll have a go at it and see what it's all about. So he picked me up one night with his son, and we drove out to this church. I had no idea what denomination he was. I had no idea what church it was. I had nothing other than the fact that I got into the truck with him. We drove out to the church. When we got there, he headed down towards the front of the church to the pulpit, and I said that I would sit in the back, not knowing what I was intending to see or understand, but I sat in the back seat. And it was funny because the joke was made at that time that maybe I was positioning myself so I would be able to get out of there and get out of the church because something might happen, if something did happen. But nothing did happen, except that I was 18 years old. I was basically a naive 18-year-old from the big city, and so I sat in the back, and the service went on. Everything was fine until the end of the service, when I witnessed people were speaking in tongue, people were being prayed for and falling on their backs, falling over on their sides, just basically falling, and I was like, holy cow, what is going on around here? So I just sat there, was calm, cool, collected until I was ready to go home, not knowing what was going to happen. Except I did know that I was in a church and I was in the presence of God, and we were just going to experience it for whatever was going to happen. Now, the church service was about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and when he was done, he and his son walked back to the back of the church and said, "Are you ready to go?" And I said, "Yes, sure, I'm ready to go." Not letting him know at that moment what my experience was. Now, we go out to his truck, and there's three of us sitting in the cab of his truck, and we're driving home, talking about the service, talking about what I learned, talking about what it was like for me, and I didn't tell him at the time, but I was sitting in the cab the whole drive home, and I knew, I felt, I could, just against my body, I could feel the presence of the Holy Spirit in the cab, and I knew at that time that God had a purpose for me to have gone to that church, but I swore that I would never ever go back to that church, nor would I ever, if I was invited to ever go back with him again, because I didn't want to experience that again. It was a pretty moving experience for me. But the Holy Spirit was encompassing the cab of the vehicle, and I knew when I got home and had a chance to relax that I had an incredible, mind-blowing experience. But there again. Like the other 2 episodes that I have talked to you about, I basically did not allow God to take over my life, to work through me, to better me and better the world. So again, it was just one of those experiences where I said, wow. And I meant seriously, capital W-A-W. It was just a totally moving experience, but I chalked it up, put it in the back of my mind, and totally forgot about it and moved on with my life. And I've had a lot of those. That's what this series is all about, is the different experiences. And I hope that you stick around for the end when I tell you exactly what happened to me and why I have decided in my life to take on God and listen to Him from now on, and how it's bettered my life tenfold. And I'm trying now in my life to help other people who need it to understand that they can't live their life purposefully and totally comfortably without Him in it. And that's one of the things that I have picked up from this whole experience. And I hope that by you listening to these and you watching them, that you will start thinking about things that have happened in your life that maybe you say to yourself, whoa, maybe God is working in me and I don't know it. And He worked in Lloyd for so long that maybe I should listen to Him. So, and another facet. Remember, I think I might have said that I did a radio show for 18 months on the internet, and it was a life experiences show, life's issues. And I used to end the show with a saying that said, you are only one person in this world, but you may be the world to that one person that you are talking to at the time you're talking to them. And you have to make sure that you leave a impression on that person so they don't do anything drastic that they may have been thinking about doing, but because you touched their life, that they're now thinking, maybe I don't want to do that, maybe I want to go and change in a different direction. So keep that in mind while you watch this video. Keep that in mind while you spend the following week listening and hearing God speak in your life. And hopefully I can be one of those people in your life that changes your life for you to the better, and you succeed. I hope you do. I hope to see you again next week, and have yourself a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.